So again, this is a do-or-die game. We are underway. Midland's batting top of the first. Lineups are roughly about the same. Kayla Parra for Midland is leading it off. Parra's in center field. We'll run through the lineup one more time for those of you maybe weren't with us earlier. The Hawks hit 4 home runs in the 8th inning to win it. Force this if necessary game. Pitch is fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Parra will be in center field. Fields will be in left. Lavelle at third. De La Paz at short. Macias the catcher. Rios now designated hitter. Hampton in first. Chavez at second. Scroggins in right. Holly Harrington scheduled to get the start. Pitch swung on and fouled away. It'll stay at a full count. Again, we appreciate you joining us here. We are just underway here in the final game of the Region 5 West tournament. Pitch is taken for a ball 4. So Parra leads off the deciding game of the walk. Marlene Fields will bat next. Again, Megan Granado, who has pitched both games against Midland in relief, now will finally get the start. You hear a little bit of wind back there. We've gotten our crowd mic down there. So here's Marlene Fields, a left fielder. Lays down a bunt perfectly. A run has it. Throws it over to first in time. Sacrifice will move Parra down to second. Sacrifice will be 5-3. That'll be the first out of the inning. Here is Deborah Lavelle. Again, those of you just joining us, Howard trailed 6-0 going to the 5th inning of the last game against Midland. Midland would have won it. They would be going to Utah. The Hawks got 11 unanswered runs to win at 11-7. Well, they should say 11 straight runs as Midland got a meaningless run in their final at bat. First pitch is a ball. It's 1-0. Hawks defensively with Granado pitching. Isbell will catch. Infield, Teichman will be at first. Correa at second. Natal at short. A run at third. Outfield will be Smith. Maishri, Correa, and Shelby Shelton. 1-0 pitch misses. 2-0. So you are up to date on what's going on. Again, Harrington is listed as a starter. She was listed to be the game starter when these two played yesterday, but it ended up being Rios. Pitch swung, ground to Correa at second, has it. Flips it over to first. Second out of the inning. Parra will take third. That'll bring up Diana De La Paz.
Number 2, Diana De La Paz.
As De La Paz, the batter. Again, these two have played 2 games. Each is 1-1. So you may as well call this game 3. First pitch taken for a ball. It's 1-0. Winner goes to Utah. Loser goes home. Pitches, gets away from the catcher and in to score an unearned run is Parra. Wait and see if it's a pass ball or a wild pitch. But it's 1-0 Midland on an unearned run. So the Shafts have been scoring runs early in all 3 of these games. The Hawks have been doing all their defense late. They came back from a 4-run deficit but lost the first game. Ground ball, now Tall at short over to first. The inning is finally over. But the Shafts quickly get a run with no hits, that walk, and nobody left on base. At the end of half an inning, it's Midland 1. Howard coming to bat. We'll take a 30-second break. Get you the Hawk lineup in 30 seconds here on the X. So a wild pitch as it's ruled. Scores a run for the Shafts. They lead it 1-0. Hawks, though, will come up to bat. Remember, the Hawks in their 2 games against the Shafts have done all their scoring late. So let's take a look at the Hawk batting lineup. Leading off at second base, Faith Correa. Batting second, Olive now Atala. At short, batting third, Jasmine a run at third base. Batting fourth, Shelby Shelton in right. Batting fifth, the pitcher, Megan Granado. Batting sixth, Kara Isbell, the catcher. Batting seventh, Claudette Smith, the left fielder. Batting eighth, Carlin Teichman at first base, and batting ninth, Cherie Correa. Holly Harrington will get the start for the Shafts as she is out there warming up. She has not pitched in either of the games between these two teams. Each team has won a game. Defensively for the Chaps, the outfield will consist of Marlene Fields, Kayla Parra, and Nisha Scroggins. Around the infield, it's Deborah Lavelle, Diana De La Paz at short, Ashley Chavez at second, first baseman Camille Hampton, catcher Megan Macias, and pitcher again is Holly Harrington. So, folks, if you've been with us for the last 6 hours as the marathon has been going on, we appreciate you joining us. Those of you that are coming from other action going on across the area with high school baseball and softball games going on, again, we appreciate you joining us. So far, Big Spring Baseball, Force-Hand Softball, Coahoma Softball, Force-Hand Baseball have all punched their tickets into the next round of the high school tournament. Howard Baseball has already clinched their conference title. Now Howard Softball trying to win a regional title. Lead it off with Faith Correa. First pitch is taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Correa scored runs in her final 3 plate appearances. 2 singles, was also a courtesy runner. She had 3 singles total in that game. So, final game of the tournament. Pitch taken for a ball. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 97 degrees first pitch. Hawks playing their 3rd game of the day. They beat El Paso 12-1 several hours ago. Then they come from behind to win 11-7 over Midland in an elimination game for the Hawks. Now we're in a play-in game to go to Utah. 1-1 pitch taken low, 2-1. These two teams have now played each other. This will be the 7th game of the season. Hawks have won 4. Chaps have won 2. You can probably hear the pounding behind us. Pitch is swung on, lays foul down the third baseline. Leavens it up at 2-2. Again, want to thank Leela Schooler. She has been with us ever since we got on air at 9:45 this morning. So, Leela, we appreciate it. I'm taking Monday off from work, and Leela, I hope you'll do the same, because it's been a long weekend for all of us. 2-2 pitch on the way. Outside, full count. So who's going to go to Utah and who is going home? Here's the payoff pitch coming from Harrington. In the set, here's the pitch. Ground ball chopper, Lavelle third has it, fires over to first in time. 1 up, 1 down. 5-3 on the putout. That'll bring up Olive now Atala, who got the home run parade in the 8th inning going, hitting a 2-run homer. The Hawks had back-to-back homers at 4 total in that extra frame, and they won it 11-7. Shows you the incredible power that the Hawks have, being able to come from behind, hit all of those homers. First pitch taken for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. And obviously the Hawk players are running out of gas. This is only the Chaps' 2nd game of the day. Hawks have played 3. Well, this is their 3rd game, I should say. Beg your pardon. So they're playing their 3rd. 1-0 pitch is low, 2-0. Again, that run scored in the 1st inning was considered a wild pitch, so it's an unearned run. So there was 1 run, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. They clean up the 1st inning for you. Here's the pitch, chopper past Harrington at the mound into center field for a base hit. So Olive now Atala with a single. That'll bring up Jasmine Arunt as part of that 4-run home run party in the 8th inning. One more time, we'll say hello to Roderick and Shonda Arunt listening to us out in California. Well, when it started, the sun was coming up. By the time we get done, the sun will be setting out there in California. First pitch, chopper into right field for a base hit. Now Atala's thinking about going to 3rd, but she'll hold up at 2nd. So runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Here's Shelby Shelton, who completed the back-to-back homers in the last game of the 8th inning. She's hit 2 already in the tournament.
Right fielder number 4, Shelby Shelton.
So you wonder what the Hawks have left in the tank, playing their 3rd game in this stifling heat. Winds are blowing out to center. Pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. And what's funny is the winds were pretty much calm for the first game through regulation. Then once we got to the 8th inning was when the winds kicked up, and that's when the ball started leaving the yard. 0-1 pitch, low, 1-1. You're going to hear the Go Hawks go. That's Kelly Raines' family, of course, the manager for the Hawks. You're going to hear her family cheering loudly. So it will certainly not be a quiet afternoon. And that's a good thing, hopefully. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, laced into right field. That'll get in for a base hit. Now Tall's going to round third. She's going to score. Heading to third is a run. Safe at third is Jasmine Arunt. And the Hawks have tied it. And you can hear you can definitely hear the fans on our crowd mic.
Pitcher number 14.
Turn that down just a tad. So here's Megan Granado. Granado pitched 5 innings of relief to get the win. She's pitched 9 innings of relief in this tournament. Check that, make that 10 innings of relief. Pitch inside of the lefty, it's 1-0. So Granado won a game, lost a game. Sandra Cerner, the pitcher, most of the time is spot on for the Hawks, but has had troubles this season against Midland. Certainly, though, the Hawks do win this game, they're going to need her at the national tournament in Utah in 2 weeks. 1-0 pitch, misses, 2 balls, no strikes. Cara Isbell waiting on deck. By the way, we will have Big Spring manager Bert Otto joining us later on in this game. The Steers winning 9-3 over Iowa Park, winning their first baseball playoff series since 1996. 2-0 pitch misses, 3-0. Hawks have runners on the corners, still only 1 out, so a fly ball can give them the lead. The winds roughly started kicking up right after we completed the 7 innings of regulation in the earlier game between these two. And the 8th inning, the Hawks got 4 balls out. Here's 3-0 pitch. It's outside. Bases are now loaded with Howard Hawks. That'll bring up Cara Isbell.
Catcher number 23, Cara Isbell.
Isbell, in that last game, hit the 4th and final home run in that 8th inning. And it's 1-1 right now here in the bottom of the first game. Hawks are the home team. Time called. Tommy Ramos coming out to... he's arguing the count if there were 4 balls. Well, we had the 4-ball count. The umpires, fortunately, they can count to 4, so that puts a Hawk on each base. A run to third, Shelton at second, Granado at first. And now, Tommy Ramos still not happy with it. Kelly Raines now telling Ramos, well, we can't tell you what she's saying, but we'll let you guess what she's saying. Again, it's been a successful weekend for everybody so far. Howard baseball clinching the regular season title up in Borger against Frank Phillips. First pitch finally thrown. It's a strike. It's 0-1. Again, the Chaps had a 6-0 lead going to the 5th inning of that game. Earlier game between these two teams. Hawks got 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 5 in the 8th. Swing and a miss by Isbell. It's 0-2. You wonder what kind of momentum the Hawks, what they have left in the tank. Remember, they're still playing. This is their 3rd game of the day. This isn't their 2nd game like Midland's playing. This is their 3rd game of the day. But then again, Midland, a couple innings away from going to Utah. Pitch swung on, lightly chopped to the mound. Harrington has it. 1 play, no play. Wow. Run scores. Harrington at least could have recorded an out at first. She would have been able to get Isbell. There was the first baseman was covering the bag, or the second baseman, excuse me, Chavez. Harrington didn't throw it. Everybody's safe. Isbell gets an RBI single. Hawks take the lead at 2-1. You know the Hawks have all the momentum now. Claudette Smith will be the batter. Left-handed batter, swung on, grounder to short, should be 2. Well, they're going to go to third for 1. They'll take the sure outs. Might have had a chance to turn 2, but they'll cut down Granado. But Shelton scores. Isbell safe at second. So it'll be an RBI fielder's choice. And now it's 3-1 Howard. Howard picking up the offense right where they left off. First 2 games these two teams have played in the tournament, Midland's jumped out the leads of 5-1 and 6-0. Hawks have had to come back both times. Now it's the Chaps that are going to have to come back. Here is Carlin Teichman, a native of Pampa, Texas. Teichman was 0 for 4, excuse me, 1 for 5 officially in the first game with a single. Takes a called strike, 0-1. Again, this is winner take all. Winner's going to the Beehive State for the national tournament. The loser is going home. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swung on, chopped softly down the third baseline, foul, and it's quickly 0-2. This all started with 1 out. Correa grounded out. Now Tala with a single, a run with a single, Shelton with a single to score a run. Granado walked, Isbell singled home a run, and then Smith with an RBI fielder's choice. So it's 3-1 the score. Pitch is swung on and grounded foul behind home plate, so it'll stay at 0-2. And you know that Granado has to be feeling like, hey, we've got this now. We've got the momentum. We've got to find a way to pull this game out. 3-1, bottom of the first inning. First and second, pitches outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So that run that was just scored, it's technically earned, but it should be unearned because Harrington fielded the ball. Should have been able to throw it over to Chavez at first. That would have been an out earlier in the inning. Instead, throw it to anybody, and the inning continued. 1-2 pitch, swung on, chopper, past the shortstop into left field. Here comes Cara Isbell. She is going to score. Claudette Smith gets into third, diving safely. And the Hawks now have lead it 4-1. Teichman with an RBI single. That will bring up Correa. And the Hawks have quickly batted around. That's Austin Kelly's son. You can hear saying, "Go Hawks, go." First pitch of the strike. It's 0-1. So the Hawks, for 4 innings against Midland, look like they were dead in the water. Then they get 11 runs in their final 4 at-bats to win the first game. And they get to the winner-take-all game. They quickly get 4 runs in this inning. Pitch is swung on, lightly grounded foul behind home plate. You wonder what Granado's going to have left in the tank. She didn't have to pitch that first game. It was actually Olive Nautala who pitched the first game of the day against El Paso when the Hawks won it 12-1. That was an elimination game. Maybe bullpen by committee in this one. Here's the pitch. It's low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Appreciate you joining us and staying with us for the whole day. It's 1-2. We're going to have a winner at the end of this one. Somebody's going to Utah. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. First baseman is up. It's a ball, 2-2. And what's going on here? Well, a run's going to score. A balk has been called. So everything is going right for Howard. A balk has been called against the pitcher Harrington. That's a critical balk because that will bring Smith home with an unearned run. Teichman goes to second. It's now 5-1. Everything that went wrong for the first hour and a half for the Hawks in their earlier game against Midland has been erased the last hour and a half of that first game and the start of this one. Third game of the day that the Hawks have had to play. They lead it 5-1. Runner on second with 2 outs. Not sure what the move was, but it was a balk called. Pitch is low, 2-2. Ever since the wind started kicking up, that was the softball gods making up for what happened yesterday when Midland got a Q-shot single to tie, and then they won the game. Yesterday, they put the Hawks in the elimination part of the bracket, but they fought their way out of it. Pitch swung on, fouled into the Shap dugout down the third baseline. It'll stay at 2-2. So you wonder what the Hawks are going to have left in the tank. Certainly a big lead will help out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It hits Correa. Well, about everything that could go wrong for the Chaps has in this inning. And guess what, Howard fans? The Hawks have batted around. We're back to the top of the lineup. Here's Faith Correa. She's the only one that has not contributed anything to this inning. She actually grounded out to start the inning. Time called. Macias going to go out and talk to Harrington. Rios is in the game, but she's designated hitter. Don't know how much longer that's going to last, though. Again, Howard trailed the first game between these two yesterday 5-1, came from 4 down to take the lead, only to give it up in the bottom of the 7th inning on a Q-shot single that went off of 2 Hawk players' gloves, and then Midland turned around in the 8th inning, the extra inning, and they won it. Then we went to extra innings again after the Hawks came back from 6-0 down, getting 4 home runs in their extra inning, and they won it 11-7. It's 5-1 here. Here's first pitch to Correa, in there for a strike. It's 0-1. You know the Shafts have to be devastated. They were up 6-0, 9 outs from a conference championship. They were rolling, and then it fell apart. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Cuts inside. Well, they'll call strike. It's 0-2. So Correa is the 10th batter to come to the plate. Of those 5 runs, 4 of them are earned. That last one that came in on the balk is unearned. Runners on first and second. First baseman cheating up the line. Pitch outside, just misses. Outside, 1-2 to the lefty. By the time we get finished, Jody Nix's show may get preempted. Again, we'll have NBA basketball tonight over on KBYG, Dallas and Oklahoma City. Pitch outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, what do the Hawks have left in the tank? You know, they'd not only love to win this one, they love to run rule them and send the Shafts home for the 2nd straight year in the regional final. 2-2 pitch, chopper, third baseman has it. Lavelle's going to run over, step on the bag for the force out. And the inning is finally over. Bud Howard, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. They get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Toss a balk in there. No errors. 2 left on base. At the end of 1, it's now Howard 5, Midland 1. Back with more Hawk softball in just a moment here on the X. So we move to the 2nd inning. Howard picking up 5 runs after the Shafts took the lead in the top half of the inning. They lead it 5-1. Shafts will send up Macias, Rios, and Hampton. Macias, number 5 batter, doing the catching. And that first game of the day between these two teams, Macias was 0 for 3 with a couple of walks and a run scored. Here comes the pitch. Low, ball 1. So the Hawks hoping now, playing with the lead really in the early innings for the first time in this entire series. 1-0 pitch is low, 2-0. Again, we'll have Bert Otto on. We'll probably get him in the top of the 3rd inning. And the Steers winning their first baseball playoff series since 1996. Here's a pitch, swung on and missed by Macias. They'll make it 2-1. As we continue the epic marathon, we're past 6 hours here on the air. Pitch swung on, grounded right to a run at third. Has it, fires over to first in time. 1 up, 1 down. That will bring up Rios, the designated hitter. She pitched the last game, and I wouldn't be surprised if she comes in to pitch at some point in this one. Rios was 2 for 3 with an RBI and a walk.
Designated player, number 9.
Hawks had 11 runs, 16 hits, 1 error. Midland had 7 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors. First pitch is low and inside. It skips off the dirt. It's 1-0. Shafts again were 9 outs away from winning last game. Could not do it. 1-0 pitch, chopped foul. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. Those of you that are probably gotten home from your other games, those of you maybe went to Seminole to watch Forsyth finish off Littlefield to go to the 3rd round. Those of you that were in Woodrow for either big spring baseball or Oklahoma softball, welcome aboard. Appreciate you joining us and glad your team's won. Pitch is outside, 2-1. We'll have high school baseball and softball playoffs next week. Teams, dates, times, locations, all to be determined. 2-1 pitch, swung on, hit into left field, a laser, caught by Claudette Smith. running to her right towards the line, backhands it for the line out. 2 up, 2 down.
Camille Hampton.
That'll bring up Hampton, the first baseman, was hit by a pitch and otherwise went 0 for 3. When she was at the plate, she left 6 runners on base. So that's now 5 in a row retired by Renato since the early walk. First pitch skips in the dirt, 1-0. The only thing we're missing right now in this being a perfect weekend would be Howard softball to win this game and win the regional. Then everybody would be a winner. Pitch is low, 2-0. Still a lot of work to be done, though, before we get to that stage. Hawks are up 5-1, but the Chaps can very easily put runs up in a hurry. 1 ball, 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch is high and away, 3-0. Scoreboard had me fooled. They were late getting the second ball posted. So it's 3 balls, no strikes. See if Hampton will take. She does take. It's in the strike zone, 3 balls, 1 strike. Sinker ball hit the bottom of the strike zone. Chavez waiting on deck. 2 outs here top of the second, 5-1. Howard leads it. Pitch, chopped foul down the third baseline. It'll set up a full count. So Hawks 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. If you want to start that little countdown for the outs to Utah right now, it stands at 16. Pitch, outside, strike 3 called. Hampton stood there like a tree in the forest, and the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down. We've played an inning and a half. It is still Howard 5, Midland 1. Back with more Hawk softball in just a moment here on the X. We go to the bottom of the second inning. The Hawks sent 10 to the plate in the first inning to get 5 runs. They lead it 5-1. So there's Aleve now at Tulla. She got the 8th inning going earlier in game 2 of the 3-game series between these two with a 2-run homer that got the Hawks offense going in that extra inning. She singled to start the rally in the first inning after the Hawks trailed it 1-0 after the Chaps got an early run in the first. Here comes the first pitch from Harrington. Ground ball through the hole at second into right center field for a base hit. So now Tala started the first inning off with a single, starts off the second inning with a single. Here's Jasmine Arunt. Singled, scored a run in the first. Again, the Hawks right now would love to try to blow this one open, try to make their lives easier going into the later innings. Pitch is swung on and lasered foul into the batting cages. 0-1. Nobody at the batting cages. These are the last 2 teams still playing. Everybody else in this tournament is already home. Well, El Paso's still heading home, but everybody else has already been eliminated. Harrington waits, gets the sign. Here's the pitch, and it hits Arunt. Arunt hit Homer in the last game, and now she's hit by a pitch. Here comes Shelby Shelton. Singled home a run and scored a run in the first. A little surprised Tommy Ramos is not pulling Rios from the designated hitter spot to pitch because Harrington has just not been effective at all in the first inning plus of this one. Rios has been on for most part in the first 2 games of this, what turned out to be the 3-game series. Shelton swung on grounder through the hole at second into center field. Rounding third is now Tala. She'll score. And the Hawks now lead it 6-1 as Arunt will go to third. And that should be the end of Holly Harrington's pitching day. And yeah, she is finished. Pitches 1 inning plus, gives up 6 runs, still 2 more on the plate. We'll update the pitching scenario. We'll do that in 60 seconds here on the X. New pitcher for Midland. It is not real. It's like we thought it would be. It is actually going to be a pitcher we have not seen all season in any of the previous 6 games between the two. Kristen Vargas will come on to pitch. Running through the media guide to tell you what I can about her. Vargas wears number 18. She's a freshman from Jal, New Mexico. So Harrington, though, still responding. The 2 runners on base still charged to Harrington should they come in to score. Here's Granado, who walked and was erased on the fielder's choice. First pitch is a strike called. It's 0-1. Current line as we have it, Harrington faces 14 batters, pitches 1+ inning. 6 runs, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. Pitch swung on, hit high in the air, down the left field line. It will get out of play. So it's 0-2. Nobody out here in the second inning. Harrington faced 14 batters, got only 3 of them out, walked 1, struck out none, and hit a batter. No wild pitches thrown, though. It was actually Granado who threw one for Howard. 0-2 pitch. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Granado will strike out, so Vargas comes in right away and gets a strikeout for 1 out. That will bring up Kara Isbell, had an RBI single and scored a run in the first. Again, we're only in the bottom of the second inning. Hawks hitting up Holly Harrington for 6 runs, and they still have 2 runners on base. First pitch is low, 1-0. Again, this is the first time that Vargas has pitched against Howard at all this season. Howard and Midland hooking up for the 7th and final time. Howard won 3 of the 4 in the regular season. These 2 teams have split the tournament games. 1-0 pitch inside, almost hit her. 2-0. Isbell had to step out of the way. This might be funny to say, but the Hawks, in theory, could start trying to set up for a run rule, if you could believe that. Now, certainly, we're going to hear something from the Shaps. I would be stunned if we don't. 2-0 pitch. Misses inside again. Isbell had to step back. 3-0. Tell the sun has come on out, as it has burned part of my arm. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. It's way high, ball 4. Bases are now loaded once again with Howard Hawks. Here's Claudette Smith. She reached on a fielder's choice that brought in a run and scored a run. So it's just been a nightmarish last hour and a half for Midland, blowing a 6-0 lead to lose the second game of the series. And right now they're down 6-1 in the deciding game. Pitch is high for ball 1. Hawks want to get as far as they can ahead of Midland, because you know the Shaps are going to come back. Shaps will have that extra energy boost that the Hawks don't, because the Hawks had to play and beat El Paso this morning just to avoid elimination. Pitch swung on, laced into left field for a base hit down the left field line. Left fielder misplays it. 1 run scores, 2 runs scores. Misplay really will not matter, because it's going to be a double anyways. And the Hawks have blown it open. It's now 8-1. Claudette Smith with a 2-run double. Both runs will be charged to Harrington. That will close the door on her afternoon, giving up 8 runs, 7 of them earned. Here's Carlin Teichman. Singled homer run, was erased on a fielder's choice in the first. For everything that went wrong yesterday in the end of that Midland game, everything has gone right the last hour and a half for Howard. First pitch, rise ball, hits strike zone, 0-1. So again, those 2 runs charged to Harrington. The book is closed on her, so everything else now will be the responsibility of Vargas. Still only 1 out in the inning. Here's the pitch, in the dirt, 1-1. Five of the 6 batters have reached for Howard. 3 hits, a hit batsman, and a walk. 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, popped up in the air. It'll clear the playing area. It will go over towards the batting cages behind the Midland dugout at third base, 1-2. I'm looking over and I see a Shaps fan that it's pulled out the antacids. I guarantee you Tommy Ramos right now is probably popping about 5 or 6 of them, the way that his team has just fallen apart the last couple of hours. 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on, laced down the right field line. It will be a foul ball. Had it stayed fair, both those runners would have scored, and then we would have been talking about a rout. When the Hawks beat the Shaps in those first 3 games of the 4-game regular season series, the Hawks outscored them 32-9. That 4th game, the Hawks just ran out of gas and lost, but Hawks bats have been out there when they played the Shaps. 1-2 pitch, swung on and fouled off the screen. It was eye level. One of the Howard fans in front of me actually flinched, even with the screen in front. So we'll stay at 1-2. Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Winner of this game goes to Utah. Loser is done for the season. 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, laced into center field. It will be caught by the center fielder. Was not deep enough, and Isbell was too far off the bag. Had to get back to third, so Teichman not able to bring home a run. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Here's Correa, who was at the plate when a walk was called that brought in a run and was hit by and ended up finishing the at-bat by being hit by a pitch. So the Hawks have had 2 batters hitting this one. Pitch, strike called. It's 0-1. So the Hawks have already completed their 2nd pathway, or should I say their 2nd run through the lineup. The Shaps have 2 batters who still haven't even come to bat. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, popped up in the air. This should end the inning. Hampton underneath of it in foul territory makes the catch. The side is finally retired, but Howard adds 3 more runs on a total of 1, 2, 3 hits. There were no errors. There was hit batsman, a walk, and 2 left on base in scoring position. At the end of 2, it's Howard 8, Midland 1. Back with more Hawk softball in just a moment here on the X. So the Hawks get 3 more runs. They finally chase the starter Harrington for Midland out of the game. They lead it 8-1. Granado taking her tosses, and Chavez, Scroggins, and Parr will be due up, the 8, 9, and 1 batters. And if the Hawks do win this game, I think you're going to have to give the regional MVP to Megan Granado, because she came in, slammed the door shut on the Shaps in that 2nd game, which gave the Hawks a chance to come back and win. She actually slammed the door shut in that 1st game that allowed the Hawks to come from behind, but the Shaps won it. And right now, she's the leading candidate, I would say, for MVP, but we'll see what happens. Here's Chavez. Chavez was 1 for 3 with an RBI in the 1st game of this day. Pitch swung on and missed. It's, well, they'll say foul tipped. It was 0-1. Chavez was the one at the plate when she hit that ground ball that went off of Granado's glove at the circle off of Faith Correa in between 1st and 2nd. Her glove yesterday that got the Shaps the game tying run, which the Shaps ended up winning. Pitch was outside, 1-1. As it turns out, if that ball does not go off the gloves, the Hawks would have won the regional already, and they would be packing for Utah. As it is, they still have 5 more innings to go. Next pitch is low and away, 2-1. Hawks can't get overconfident yet. The Shaps can very easily come back from 7 runs down. They've done it before this season against other opponents. 2-1 pitch on the way. Chopper to a run, fields it at 3rd, throws over to 1st. And that's now 7 in a row retired by Granado. Granado, by the way, still is not allowed to hit. The only run that got on was by a walk.
Right fielder, number 12, Nisha.
And that runner ended up scoring on a wild pitch. Here's Scroggins, number 9 batter. Scroggins was 0 for 4 in the game earlier today. As Granado gets ready to pitch, it's low and away for a ball. It's ball 1. 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Hawks. 1 run, no hits, no errors for the Shaps. Next pitch is a little bit high, 2-0. Hoping our crowd mic batteries will hold out to get this game done. Here's the pitch. Chopper run fields it over by the pitching circle at 3rd, over to 1st in time. 2 up, 2 down. Go back to the top of the order now.
Center fielder.
Here comes Kayla Parr, the only Shaft to reach base. She walked, went to second on a sacrifice bunt, went to third on a wild pitch and scored. I'm sorry, she went to second on a sacrifice bunt, went to third on a ground out, scored on a wild pitch. That is the entire Shaft's offense in this one, and now she's contributed more. She'll hit a ground ball past Correa at second into center field. First hit of the game by the Shafts. That'll bring up Fields, who had that sacrifice. So Fields has not had an official at bat. Looking at some of the fans who are deeply sunburned. The ones who did not get the umbrella treatment earlier. Stands are mostly in the shade. Pitch swung on, hit high and deep to center field. It's going to go over Correa's head. Extra bases for Fields. Parr is going to round third. Going to try to score. Throw is not in time. Told you the Shafts can come back quickly, and they get back-to-back hits with 2 outs. The RBI double by Fields makes it 8-2. The Shafts are going to have to chip away at it. Shafts still have 13 outs remaining to work with. Here's Deborah Lavelle, who grounded out to second. That moved Parr over to third in the first inning that brought in the earlier run. First pitch is low, 1-0. So Parr has scored both Shaft runs. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. The outside corner, strike called to the right-handed batter, 1-1. Final game of the series, final game of the tournament. 1-1 pitch, swung on, chopper, slow roll. Nawatala has it at short, fires over to first in time. The inning is over, but Midland does get a run back. They get 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 1 runner left on base. The end of 2.5. It is now Howard 8 and Midland 2. Back with more Hawk softball in just a moment here on the X. So we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Hawks leading at 8-2. Faith Correa at the plate. Takes a ball and then a strike, so it's 1 ball, 1 strike as we come out of our commercials. Correa has grounded out and reached on a fielder's choice, so she's 0 for 2. She's the only Hawk that has not gotten in so far on the parade. Strike called, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're going to get Burr Otto, the Big Spring manager, on the phone in between. After this half inning, we'll see if we have him available to talk to us. Pitch is out low and away, evens it up at 2-2. Now Tallin, a runt will follow. Here's the pitch. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes for a full count. May hear a pinging noise on your radio. Just changing a couple of our buttons around. There we go. I think we got it all set up. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Catcher drops it. Correa's going to take off for first. And they will retire the out, but it looked like the first baseman, Hampton, came off the bag when she received the throw. But they'll say that it's a strikeout, so Correa is a strikeout victim. They had to throw it out to first to complete the strikeout. Second strikeout by Vargas. 1 out, and now the umpires are going to get together. It looked like Hampton had come off the bag. The 3rd strike went off the glove of the catcher Macias for Midland. Correa was late getting a start. She was already walking towards the dugout. The dugout was yelling at her to hurry up and go to first. That couple of second delay cost the Hawks a base runner, so we'll have now Tala, who is singled twice and scored twice. Strike called, 0-1. Of course, now Tala, in that last game, hit not 1, but 2 2-run homers. We forgot about that. She hit a 2-run homer that got the Hawks offense going, then hit a 2-run homer that gave them the lead. Pitch is swung on, lays down the left field line, foul. So it'll be 0-2. Completely forgot about that. The Hawks, when they got 2 2-run homers in the 4th inning of that second game, first one of the day. Now Tala hit 1, and that got the offense going, and Midland never really responded. They got a meaningless run late, but it was too little too late. So no balls, 2 strikes. Now Tala, the pitch, chop foul, will hit the back of the screen, and then it will drop onto the dirt. So it will stay at 0-2. So the marathon now, as we come to the bottom of the hour, 4:30 Central Daylight Time. The marathon has now gone 6 hours, 45 minutes. Third and final game. We're so glad you're with us. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air, deep to right center field. It's playable. Right fielder coming all the way over to center, to right center, excuse me. And then Scroggins makes the catch. That'll be the second out of the inning. Here is a run. A runt has singled, was hit by a pitch, and scored twice. Those of you just joining us, Howard won an elimination game 12-1 over El Paso, then came from 6-0 down to beat Midland 11-7 in 8 innings, and now we're in the winner-take-all game. It's 8-2. Howard in the bottom of the third. Swung and a miss by a run. It's 0-1. As the Hawks looking to punch their ticket to Utah for the second straight year. Pitch, it's the outside corner, strike 2 called. As we continue on here in the bottom of the third inning, 8-2. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled away. It will get out of the stadium. It's going to head towards the parking lot. And looks like it hit a white Ford Taurus. If you're driving a Ford Taurus, you may want to call your insurance agent tomorrow morning will be Sunday morning, so we'll say Monday morning. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat, foul. That'll get out of play down the right field line. It'll hit the hill behind the Hawk dugout. Trying to be careful. Somebody there was going for the power. Somebody almost cut us off. That would not have been a good thing to lose power at this time. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, towering fly ball down the left field line. That should get out of play, and it will. One hops, and we'll go into the top of the batting cages. The batting cages were busy all weekend long, but with these two teams the only ones left, everybody else is gone. Final positioning standings in the tournament. Clarendon will finish 6th. 5th place will go to Western Texas. 4th place to Odessa. 3rd place to El Paso. Loser this game 2nd. Winner wins it. 0-2 pitch. Swung on. Chopper down the first baseline. Hampton has it. It's going to have to race over to first. Steps on the bag for the putout. The inning is over. Hawks go 3 up, 3 down. At the end of 3, it's still Howard 8 and Midland 2. We'll be back with more Hawks softball in just a moment here on the X. So we move to the 4th inning. Hawks still leading at 8-2. De La Paz, Macias, and Rios, the batters for the Sheps. Right now we're joined by phone back in Big Spring by Bert Otto, the manager of the Big Spring Steers. We'll be talking to him throughout the this half inning since the Sheps are at bat. And we'll have a little bit with him between innings as well. So, Bert, we appreciate you joining us. Just please stay on the line as we've got you live. So, De La Paz was at the plate when a wild pitch was thrown that brought home par with the run that gave the Shafts a short-lived 1-0 lead. She ended up grounding out to end the first. First pitch is low and at the knees for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the Big Spring Steer baseball team winning their first postseason playoff series in 16 years, 9-3 over Iowa Park. Pitch swung on, hit high in the air. Shelton's charging from right field's got it. And that'll be the first out. Well, while we reset a moment, we'll say hello to Bert. Hey, Bert, Greg Sherman, KBYG Radio up here in Lubbock. You got a copy on us? Bert, first off, congratulations. I know it had to have been a great win for you guys. Macias steps in, grounded out to a run at third to start the second inning. We'll have a lot more with Bert coming up over the next few minutes. Pitch is a strike, 0-1. Hawks were 9 outs away from seeing their season end, but they roared from behind and won it 11-7 the earlier game. Pitch swung on, grounded to a run at third, throws it over to first in time. 2 up and 2 down. Well, geez, Bert, from the time that you guys finished off Iowa Park, the Hawks offense got going. I know you don't know what's been going on up here, but very big offensive day, 9 runs. It sounded like everybody contributed.
Yeah, we had a lot of triples, doubles, and kind of piled on there.
Rios will step in, takes a ball in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Rios lined out to the left fielder, her first time up as Claudette Smith made a spearing catch. Again, it's 8-2 here in the top of the 4th inning. Big Spring baseball manager Bert Otto is joining me by telephone right now in Big Spring. I'm up here in Lubbock. Pitch is outside, 2-0. Geez, Bert, you guys finished them off so quickly. I could have used a co-analyst had you made the trip north up 87 instead of south.
We're on the way home right now.
2-0 pitch is outside, 3-0. Hawks with 5 in the first, 3 in the second. Shaps got single runs in the first and third innings. 8 runs, 8 hits for the Hawks, 2 runs, 2 hits for the Shaps. We've played error-free so far through 3. Pitch is low and away, ball 4. And so Rios will draw a 2-out walk. Here's Hampton, who struck out to end the second inning.
Number 21, Camille Hampton.
First walk issued by Granado in this game. Of course, Granado, the native of here in Lubbock, Texas, went to 5A Lubbock Coronado. Great prospect coming out of the Lubbock area here, so it's homecoming for her. First pitch to Hampton's low and away to the right-handed batter. It's 1-0. Winner of this one's going to Utah in the national championship, which will take place in 2 weeks. 1-0 pitch is low, 2-0. Hawks, by the way, the countdown for the out countdown, so they clinch, is right now sitting at 10. Still a long, long way to go. Here's the pitch, swung on, chopper, past a run at third. It'll be a fair ball. Oh no, they're going to call it a foul ball. I got to tell you, folks, I'm a Hawk fan like everybody, but that ball was on the, I think that was on the fair side of third base. It was on the third base side, but foul ball, so the Shaps will stay at the plate so the count will be 2-1. Again, you're hearing Bert Otto in the background. Pitch swung on. Chopper Notala backhands it, fires it over to first. And no, not in time. Teichman came off the bag. She tried to tag Hampton. And they're going to say she missed a tag.
I'll replay it for you.
And Kelly Raines is going to call for time. Ball was hit now. Tala had it. Threw it over to first. It was a bad throw. It actually pulled Teichman towards the home plate side of first base. And so Teichman was trying to tag the runner out. They're going to say she was safe, but now the umpires are going to get together. While we have a moment, Bert, 9-3. First off, just a quick initial reaction to ending the 16-year drought. Kelly Raines still talking to the umpire. The umpire, they appealed, and it is safe. Raines going to get her words in. Pretty good argument. You can tell Raines' arms are beginning to get sunburned, the lower part of the arms from the elbow to the hand. Can't really hear what's going on here. Our crowd makes too far away. So, Bert, what was the big keys to the game today? 9-3. Briefly tell us about it.
Second baseman number 14, Ashley Chavez.
So the conference is over here. Chavez will step in. She grounded out to start the third inning. So runners on first and second. We told you the Shaps can get back in a game in a hurry. One swing of the bat would do that. Pitch is low and away for a ball. It's ball 1 again. Greg Sherman here in Lubbock, joined by phone with Bert Otto, the Big Spring manager, making his way back to Big Spring. Be hearing a little bit more from him throughout the rest of this inning. Pitch right down 4th Street for a strike. It's 1-1. Steers getting outstanding pitching from Adam Franco on Thursday, and then Garrett Studeville today. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch swung on, popped up in the air. It's going to be over towards the dugout. Teichman leans over the railing, makes the catch. That's a Web Gem nominee, and the inning is over. So whether that was a good call or not earlier, will go for naught. So they called it an error, by the way. Wanted to update it. E6 on now Atala, but the inning doesn't. Well, the error doesn't matter. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 left on base. The end of 3.5. It's 8-2. We're going to stay right here. So, Bert, we're in between innings right now, so got a little bit of time now. Just a little bit more about the game today, please, Coach. So you end one streak on Thursday, then you end a second streak today. The streak that you ended Thursday was the first postseason baseball win since 2000. That team, though, went on to lose that series. And today you end the streak of the 16-year drought. Now you get to the second round, and what's interesting is the last four, between 92 and 96, Coach, the Steers won 11 playoff series. 4 times they made the playoffs. 3 times they were ended by the eventual baseball or the eventual state champions. So talk about going in to play Mineral Wells, who won their district. Shelton up to bat to lead off the inning, hits a pop-up into center field, racing for it's the center fielder. Para dives, makes the catch. She was completely on the ground. Her jersey's now completely soiled, but she does get the out. Recorded on Shelton, so 1 out. Again, we'll hear more from Bert Otto coming up in just a moment. Here's the pitcher, Megan Granato. She has walked and struck out. Appreciate Bert taking his time out on the bus ride home to talk to us. The Steers were victorious. First pitch, swung on and laced past the shortstop into left field for a base hit. So the pitcher, Granato, again showing us why we think she's going to be the MVP if the Hawks win this. Starts it off with a single with 1 out. Here's Isbell. Isbell singled home a run and scored a run in the first, was walked in the second inning. Of course, the wind's up here in the Woodrow location. For those of you not familiar, Woodrow, where Lubbock Cooper is located, is only about 10 miles south of Lubbock. It's in the same county, Lubbock County, just on the other side of the Lynn County line. First pitch taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Of course, we have a lot of listeners from all over the state of Texas, all over Missouri and California. Probably have somebody listening to us from Denmark, so good evening to you out there in Copenhagen. 0-1 pitch. Swung on ground to the shortstop, could be 2. Flips the second for 1. Relay at first in time. Taylor made double play. The inning is over, so the double play will go down the traditional 6-4-3. So it's 8-2 at the end of 4. We're going to finish up our chat right now with Bert. So Bert, now you guys got to refocus and play Mineral Wells. You've been telling us that it would probably be in Abilene. You got any serious info for us, Coach? Final thought, Coach, on a big win today, becoming the 4th Steer athletic team this academic season to end a long postseason drought. Well, hey, Bert Otto, congratulations. Big Spring finishes off Iowa Park 9-3. First playoff series win for Big Spring baseball since '96. Bert, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next week. As we say goodbye to Bert, we're going to keep it right here. We'll make up our missing commercial breaks coming up in a moment. Whoops. Got to kill our phone line there. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I forgot to kill the line after we finished up with Bert. So we'll have more on Big Spring baseball coming up next week. We're going to finish, though, the story here at the Hawks. It's 8-2 here as the Hawks are 9 outs away from winning the regional tournament for the second straight year. It's technically known as the Region 5 West Tournament because the North Texas Conference does not participate in this one. They participate in their own. So one team from the WACJAC and one team from the North Texas Conference will go to Utah. That tournament will start actually a week from Thursday. So the Hawks, by the way, in that last inning had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, a double play. The bases were left empty. Here in the 5th inning, the Shafts will send up Scroggins, Parra, and Fields. And you wonder, to a degree, why Tommy Ramos of Midland, if you want to play devil's advocate, why he didn't get Harrington out of there earlier, the pitcher for Midland. Because as soon as Vargas came in, Vargas has shut the door. Pitch is low and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Scroggins has grounded out, her only time up now. If the Hawks shut them out in this inning, and they can come back and get 2 runs in the 5th inning, the game will end. Pitch swung on, grounded right to a run at third, has it, fires it over to first, 1 up, 1 down. 8 outs to go. Go back to the top of the orders, Kayla Parra. Parra has walked and singled, scored both of the Shap runs. As we have passed the 1 hour mark here in Lubbock, again, we'll make have a couple extra commercial breaks to make up. First pitch is a ball. It's 1-0. I want to thank all of our sponsors who've been helping us out this weekend. Make sure to get on board if you're not sponsoring, because we have the 7-week marathon of playoffs will continue next week. Pitch is a strike, 1-1. So we're wrapping up the 2nd week of the marathon. Hopefully somebody's going to go to Austin and win a state championship, maybe, or one of our college teams will win a national championship. Pitch, outside corner, swing and a miss. Bad idea by Parra to swing at it. It was well outside the strike zone. It's 1-2. Marlene Fields waiting on deck for the Shaps. 1-2 pitch, swung on, chopper in front of the mound, slow roller, Granado has it, fires over to first, not in time. It was hit so softly, Granado and Isabel didn't know who was going to go for it, and so Parra has been the thorn in the side of the Hawks in this one. With a single, that'll bring up Fields. Fields had an RBI double in the 3rd inning. But really, as long as only one player is doing the damage with the Hawks having a 6-run lead, they should still be okay. Fields steps in, left-handed batter. Fields has also had a sacrifice bunt. Pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes. Again, once this game is over, assuming the Hawks do win it, we will have the post-game. We'll have hopefully have the presentation of the Region 5 trophy. 1 ball, no strike. Pitch swung on, hit in the left field. This could be trouble. Over the head catch by Claudette Smith. They're going to try to get the runner out at first, that double her off Parra, but Parra's able to get back in time. Great catch over the shoulder by Marlene Fields. Hawks now 7 outs away. Here is Deborah Lovell.
Deborah Lavelle.
Or Lavelle. We've been calling her Lovell all weekend. Lovell, Level, whatever you want to call it. Lavelle. Here's the pitch. Low and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Again, we appreciate Bert Otto taking his time out to talk to us. The Hawks are making their way home, or excuse me, the Steers making their way home from a win. Pitch swung on, line drive, caught by Granado. She turned around to shield herself, and instead she caught it. There's a Webb gem right there. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base at the end of 4.5. It's Howard 8, Midland 2. We're going to take a 90-second break. Be back with more Hawks softball in just a moment here on the X. So we move to the top of the 5th inning. Claudette Smith leads it off, takes a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Smith has 3 RBIs in this game, 2-run double, and RBI fielder's choice. Pitch swung on, hit high in the air to left. It'll stay in the park. Left fielder trying to get underneath of it. That's Fields, makes the catch for the first out.
First baseman number 19.
Again, one more time, we appreciate Bert Otto joining us. It's Big Spring Baseball winner today, joining for Sand Baseball and Softball and Oklahoma Softball in the next round of the playoffs. So here is Carlin Teichman has an RBI single on the flyout. Now, the Hawks, a bloop and a blast, they get 2 runs. This game is over if they can do that by the run rule. First pitch called strike, it's 0-1. If they don't run rule the Shaps, the Hawks are 6 outs away from going to Utah, known as the Beehive State, of course. Here's the pitch, popped up, and it will go off the top of the screen. 0-2. Hawks had a run rule win over El Paso earlier today. It seems like it was about 2 days ago because we've been out here since 9:30. We now have passed the 7-hour mark on the marathon. Told you it was going to be a long day, folks. Glad you're with us. Pitch called strike 3. It curved in. It hit the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Teichman is down on strike, 2nd out of the inning. 3rd strikeout by Vargas. Vargas has not allowed a run since the Hawks came on. She allowed 2 of the first 3 hitters to reach. But after that, has only allowed 1 runner since. No runs, period. Here is Correa. was hit by a pitch. Swung on it high in the air to center field. Playable left center field. Center fielder underneath of it. That's Parra makes the catch. The inning is over. So the Hawks go 3 up, 3 down. The end of 5. It's Howard 8, Midland 2. We're going to take another 90-second break. Be back more Hawks softball in 90 seconds here on the X. Move to the 6th inning. Hawks still leading at 8-2. Diana De La Paz will lead it off for the Shaps. Pitches in the dirt, 1-0. De La Paz was at the plate when a wild pitch was thrown in the first. It scored a run. She ended up grounding out. She also flew out to right. Hawks 6 outs away from a return trip to Utah, where they finished 9th last year. WBI Sports postgame show will follow this one. Pitches outside for a ball, 2-0. We're hoping, of course, that we'll be talking about another regional championship for your Hawks. Pitch swung on, grounded past Correa at second. Quick roller, it'll go into the center field for a base hit. Shaps are starting to run out of outs, by the way. They only have 6 outs left to play with.
Catcher number 5, Megan Macias.
Macias will be the batter. She's grounded out twice in 2 plate appearances. Pitch is blown away for a ball. It's 1-0. Granado again has slammed the door shut on Midland in all 3 games. Ran out of gas in the first game yesterday, shut him down in the second game today, and has so far shut him down in the 3rd game. Pitch swung on, hit in the air to right field. Shelby Shelton underneath of it makes the catch. That'll be the first out of the inning. You can tell Shelton because she's still wearing the protective mask after suffering a broken jaw earlier in the season in a freak pregame warm-up. So the Hawks now 5 outs away from the regional title. Here's Rios, line out and a walk. Infield's going to set up in double play depth, not expecting a bunt with a 6-run lead. Pitch is swung on, hit in the right field. It will hit in front of Shelton for a base hit. Rounding second egg for third is De La Paz, no throw. So runners on the corners with 1 out. Not a bad play decision there by the Hawks not to try to gun down De La Paz from the right field all the way to third base, because if there's a bad throw, this moves the runners along. Hawks still have a big lead, but the Shaps blew a 6-run lead earlier, and Hawks don't want to blow their 6-run lead. Here's Hampton, struck out and reached on air. Pitch swung on, hit in the air to right field. Playable. Shelton's got it. 2nd out of the inning. Hawks now 4 outs away. Sounds like we're counting down to a new year. Well, we're counting down to another regional championship and a new trophy for the Hawks if they can finish it off. Here's Chavez. She's 0 for 2, grounded out and fouled out. Pitch is swung on, laced into right field. That'll get down for extra bases. And runners will stop at second and third. By the way, I missed it. De La Paz did score from third, so Hampton does get a sacrifice fly and RBI, so it is 8-3. My apologies for that. Chavez gets a double, so now runners on second and third. We're going to get a substitution coming in. It'll either be a pinch hitter or a pinch runner. Scroggins is due up, and Scroggins will not bat. Instead, we will have Allie Woodward will come on to pinch hit for Scroggins. So Woodward will come on and pinch hit. Scroggins in this spot was 0 for 2. Woodward, I don't believe, has played in either of the games between these 2 teams this weekend. Looking back through the score sheet. Yes, she did. I'm sorry. She did have a pinch hit yesterday. Pinch hit at bat, and she grounded out. So my apologies for that. First pitch, swung on, chopper, now tall, it's short, drops the ball, everybody's going to be safe. Run scores, it'll be unearned. E6. And this is about the time of the game in the last game when the Hawks made their move. And now the Shaps trying to make theirs. Another run scores. So now Tala now with 2 errors today. And it's 8-4. And now Scroggins will come in to pinch run for Woodward. So Woodward batted for Scroggins. Scroggins will pinch run for Woodward. So there's 2 outs. Now it's 8-4. One more base runner would bring the tying run to the plate. Kayla Parr will bring up the top of the order. as Parra has reached base all 3 times and scored 2 runs. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Shafts have already come from behind against an opponent earlier this year, down 6-1, so certainly they are coming down from 7 back, not entirely out of the question. We hope it doesn't happen, though. Pitch swung on, slow roller, now Tall at short. Now she's got a clean field, throws over to first in time, and the inning is over. But the Shafts do draw closer. They get 2 runs, one of them unearned, on a total of 1, 2, 3 hits. There was an error. 2 left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Hawks lead now cut down to 8-4. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on the X. As Correa leads it off with a strike. It's 0-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Correa's the only one that has not been able to get in on the fun. Lays a bunt down. Lovell fields it, throws over to first. It gets away from the first baseman. So now Correa will be safe at first. That should go down as an E5. So it will be E5. Charge to Lovell. Hawks maybe looking to try to get a little more insurance, try to build up a lead. Here is now Atala, who singled twice, scored twice. Pitch swung on, hit high in the air, deep to center. It might be. It is long gone. A 2-run homer for Olive, now Atala. And now the Hawks regain the lead to 6. It's 10-4, and that probably is the exclamation point. Olive, now Atala, hits a 2-run homer straight to center. 10-4 is our score. And what's funny is just as she was hitting that home run, the Hawks came within 1 walk of a perfect game for baseball. They win at 10-0, a 4-pitcher combined no-hitter. They finished a walk shy of a perfect game. So congratulations to the Hawks. They'll be the #1 seed in next week's baseball tournament. Here's Jasmine Arunt, singled, hit by a pitch, and scored twice. Here the Hawk softball team on their way to victory, on their way to Utah, barring a late collapse. Pitch swung on, popped up in the air. It's 0-1. So those of you that were listening to, well, that ball almost hit our field mic there. Those of you that were listening to Hawk Baseball over on KBYG, welcome aboard. You've picked a good time to join us. As the Hawks are 3 outs away from going to Utah. First pitch is his next pitch, I should say, is a ball 1-1. The Hawks are batting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Those of you just joining us, the Hawks beat El Paso 12-1 in an elimination game. Then came from 6 runs down to beat Midland, another elimination game, 11-7. Pitch swung on, lays down a left field line, foul. It'll be 1-2. Winning 2 elimination games after being down by 6. The Hawks lead at 10-4. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Yep. Here's the next pitch. Swung on, grounder right to the second baseman, goes over her glove. And that will be a base hit. They didn't charge an error, by the way, to the Shaft player earlier, but it had to have been an error. And that one's going to be an error, so that will be the second error of the inning. E4. By the way, the home run ball was an earned run. The runner that came home with it was not. So second error of the game, as we haven't scored. Chavez with it. Maybe that makes up a little bit for what happened yesterday when Chavez was at the plate when the Hawks were victimized. Or when Chavez was at the plate. First pitch to Shelton's a ball, 1-0. Pitch called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. What's funny is had the Hawks not given up that long ball, or those 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning, they would have won it by the run rule. As it is, though, if Shelby Shelton can hit 1 more homer, this game will end. Pitch swung on, not a homer, but it'll go into center field for a base hit. Jasmine runs thing for third. She's going to slide in, safe at third. And now the Hawks have runners on the corners. The game-ending run is at first base. Here's Megan Granado. She can pretty much lock up her MVP if she can end the game. Again, the Hawks lead it 10-4. Barring a collapse, they're going to win this game. They're only 3 outs away from winning. And those of you listening to Hawk Baseball, you picked a pretty good time to join us. Here's the first pitch. Swung on Chopper. Slow Chopper. Shortstop, second baseman has it. She'll tag Shelton for 1. Throws over to first in time for a double play. Shelton is retired. A run will score. No RBI, though, for Granado. Double play will go 4-3. It's 11-4. Bases are now empty. So here's Kara Isbell. If we do get to a 7th inning, the Shafts will send up Fields, Lovell, and De La Paz. They're going to need the softball gods to shine on them again to get back in it. First pitch is low, ball 1. So that aggressive base running by a runt gets the Hawks their 11th run of the game. Hawks had 11 on them in the game a few hours ago. Now they have 11 here. So the Hawks have now scored 34 runs today. They've only given up 12 in the 3 games played today. Pitch swung on, laced into center field, and it's over the head of the center fielder off the fence. Had thoughts about trying to get out and end it, but not quite. So Isbell, the game-ending run, is at first. Here's Claudette Smith. She already has 3 RBIs in this one. RBI ground out, or an RBI fielder's choice, and a 2-run double scored a run. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner for Isbell. Rebecca Long comes out. Again, the Hawks have the mercy run 180 feet away. They're standing at first base. If they don't get that run in, then they will only be 3 outs away from the championship. As we've been on the air now over 7 hours today, the marathon is continuing. We appreciate you joining us. Again, Hawk Baseball throws a no-hitter. 1 walk short of a perfect game. Here's the pitch. It's high and away for a ball. It's 1-0. Could be a perfect day because Big Spring Baseball, Force and Softball, Oklahoma Softball have all won to advance in their tournaments. Force and Baseball had a bye, so they advanced by default. Howard Baseball has wrapped up their conference title. Now Hawk Softball trying to wrap up the regional title. Pitch is swung on, fouled off the top of the dugout that the Hawks have occupied longer than the Occupy protesters have occupied Washington, D.C. So, I'm sorry, this is our 5th game in 3 days. We're running out of one-liners to play. Every one-liner must go. One of the fans was laughing about that one. Hawks have 13 hits today. Pitch is outside. Well, the count is right now showing 1-2. Again, can the Hawks end the game now, or will they have to do it on defense? The 1-2 pitch, swung on, Chopper, slow roller, second baseman's charging, throws over to first, just in time to get Claudette Smith. The inning is over, but the Hawks do push across an unearned run. Hawks, as that play goes 4-3, 2 hits and an error. 1 left on base. Hawks are 3 outs away from a regional title. Can they do it? We'll take a 60-second break. Be back with what we hope is the conclusion of this marathon. We'll do that in 60 seconds here on the X. Last call for the Shafts. Hawks are 3 outs away from going to Utah. Shafts are going to need the softball gods that looked down on the Shafts yesterday to do it again. Here's Marlene Fields. She'll lead it off. Fields has an RBI double in 3 plate appearances. First pitch, strike called. It's 0-1. Lovell and De La Paz will follow. Assuming the Hawks do finish this off, we'll have an extended post-game show. They'll award the trophy, and we'll talk to players and coaches. Next pitch, swung on, hit high in the air, deep, or not quite deep in right field. Shelton's going to back up, makes the catch. There's the first out. Hawks are 2 outs away from victory.
Third baseman number 10, Deborah Lavelle.
Lavelle is 0 for 3 today in this game. Lavelle hit a 2-run homer and got on base actually 4 or 5 times in the first game, but she has been quiet in this one. Hawks 2 outs away from going to Utah. Pitch skips in front of the plate. It's 1-0. Again, the Hawk baseball team sweeps Frank Phillips. 4 pitchers combined on a no-hitter finish a walk short of a perfect game. 1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0. You don't usually get a perfect weekend for sports in any locale, but we're 2 outs away from having that. Here's 2-0 pitch, outside, 3-0. Again, Granado can have the luxury of trying to pitch with a little bit of leeway. And Granado, I'll tell you right now, if she is not the MVP of this region, I don't know who is. 3-0's outside. Lavelle will walk. Again, Granado slammed the door shut twice on Midland earlier in the 2 meetings, allowing the Hawks to come back both times. Hawks won 1, lost 1. And she has kept the Shafts in check outside of a couple of bugaboos in that 6th inning. The Hawks by then had built up a 6-run lead. Here is De La Paz, who singled and scored a run her last time up, has been retired the other 2 times. Outside corner misses to the righty. It's 0-1. Hawks are going to play in double play depth. Obviously, no use of a bunt when you have 2 outs left for the Shafts and down by 7 runs. 1-0 pitch. Strike called. It's 1-1. Macias waiting on deck. Hawks would love to turn the double play and punch a ticket to Utah. Pitch, swung on, hit in the air to right field. Shelton underneath of it makes the catch. 2 outs. Howard is 1 out away from the win. Standing in their way in a non-stop flight to Las Vegas. Well, not non-stop. It'll go to Albuquerque most likely, is Megan Macias. Macias is 0 for 3. Hawks 1 out away. Here's the first pitch. Ball called. It's 1-0. Hawks have been playing softball for about over 7 hours today. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, chopper to pass the run at third. Pass now Tollett short to go into left field for a base hit. Runners on first and second. So the game will go on. Here's Rios, the designated hitter. Again, the big story of this one, Holly Harrington getting the start. The Hawks ran her out of the stadium. 8 runs the first 2 innings. The Hawks were blanked the next 3 innings by reliever by Vargas until the Hawks got 3 in the 6th. Rios again singled and scored her last time up. Pitches it in the dirt, 1-0. Again, the Hawks 1 out away. Granado with the sign. Here's the pitch. Strike call in the outside corner of the right-handed batter. 1-1. Rios pitched pretty well. In the early innings of the first 2 games that these 2 played. Was lit up late in both. Pitch in the dirt. It's going to get in front of the plate. Good job by Isabel to stop it. 2-1. Hampton waiting on deck again. Essentially, the next 5 Shafts, or at least basically the next 7 Shaft batters, have to get it on base safely to keep the game going. Pitches outside, 3-1. Of course, Granado doesn't have to get too cute because the lead is 7 runs. 3-1 count. Right down the middle, strike 2, and the Shafts are down to their final strike. This is where you would hear the Cleveland Indians fan with the drummer banging away as it's 3-2, full count. Runners will be in motion. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounder past the pitcher, past the shortstop into center field. Run will score. Lavelle will score. That was reminiscent exactly of the play yesterday when the ball went off with 2 Hawk gloves. The difference, though, this one happened with the Hawks with plenty of comfort. So it's an RBI single by Rios.
11-5
the score. So the second time against the Shaps that they had a chance to beat them. Yesterday they couldn't do it, and today they did it once, but are still trying to do it twice. First pitch, a strike to Hampton. 0-1. Hampton had a sacrifice flyer last time up. Reached on an air and struck out. The chance of Let's Go Hawks is going by Kelly Raines' family in the front row. Pitch swung on, hit in the air. Correa backing up, makes the catch. The ball game is over, and your Howard Hawks for the second straight year knock out the Midland Shaps. Takes the Hawks 7.5 hours to do it, but they do it. Your final score, Howard 11, Midland 5. Shaps do get a run, as if it really makes a difference. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors. There were 2 left on base. 11-5 is your final. Shaps the Hawks are jumping up and down between first and second base. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break. We're going to go grab our crowd mic. We're going to go grab some water. We're going to go grab a box score. And actually, they're going to shake hands right now. But how about the Howard Hawks? They do it again. The softball gods gave Midland a break yesterday that allowed the Shaps to win. Hawks had to get up here at 9:30 in the morning. They beat El Paso 12-1 in an elimination game. Beat the Shaps 11-7. They were down 6-0. And they come from 6 runs down to win game 2. And now they have done it. You can hear the cheering. Shaps are going to go over and console. But you know what, though? The softball gods gave it back to Howard. They take it away and they gave it back. So final score is 11-4. They're going to go, or 11-5. They're going to award the trophy. We are still waiting to get a box score soon. And I guess maybe we will not have it, but if we don't, that's fine. Because you know what? The only score that matters is 11-5. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to take a 3-minute break on the network. When we come back, we're going to have a very, very happy team as Kelly Raines gets a shower. We're going to do that in 3 minutes. You're listening to Hawk Softball on the XKXCS.